Hello, everybody. This is Windy City Thetan Watch. We are live on Sunday, June 9th, and we've got a lot to go over. Lots happened this week. We've had some interesting news. There's been a lot of activity. There's been a lot of activity in the protest movement and behind the scenes of the protest movement. And I've seen a lot of activity there, and I just kind of wanted to be able to share my opinion and my side of what I think has been going on here and what I think is important in this space. So I want to first kick things off with letting everybody know that, Tony's in trouble. Nancy and my Tony they're in the hospital. Howdy, Dorothy. Great to see you. And I want to make sure that we're all supporting them the best we can. But I want to add a few things here that, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion. Everybody is free to go however they want. They do need our support right now. We want to be able to send them letters, and if you have other ways, whether it's email or text, go ahead and do that. But I would encourage you to put, please, no need to respond, because they've got enough going on in their lives right now that it's great that they know that we care and that we're trying to show our care. I would encourage you to let them know that, hey, there's no need for you to respond, right? That we're just here to help and support you. That's my opinion. They haven't said anything to me. I just think that that's a fair way of looking at this process. So you've got the banner scrolling across the bottom. It is the GoFundMe at support Natalie and Tony's cancer battle. And I'm going to go ahead and clip this and put it down in our post as well, so that that's there. Now, is there a way that I can pin a comment? No, I can't. I don't think I don't know enough to pin that comment, but I'll leave that there as well, so it's a place where you're clickable. And again, if you have the ability to, I would encourage you to. Natalie and Tony are going through a tough time. Natalie's done a great deal for this community, and when I think about the community, it's the anti-Scientology community. I want to be clear. It's a loose group of people who are individuals fighting Scientology. So if you have a chance to, please head on over there. I have one more fundraising element. So as we know, in Chicago, Nance Drew is going through some legal issues with the church trying to accuse her of assault with breasts, and that she's got court tomorrow morning. And if you've got the ability to, and you feel so inclined, I want to remind people that they can go over to our link tree. We've heard this before, right? That I think it's important that you use the link tree because the link tree doesn't take the same 30% YouTube tax on any kind of donations, and she can get the money more immediately. So if possible, please go ahead and help support Nance Drew in that space. I am now going to, let me take this off screen, and I want to add another. I have a new thing in my bag of tricks. By the way, I'm not great at this screen sharing stuff and being in the studio, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I want to screen share this. I want to screen share this. And hey, where'd that go? No, I don't want that. All right, I want to share this. So I have a new media jacket. So when I'm out there on the street, I can do I can look a little bit more professional. This allows me to put my body camera on the front and higher up. Normally I clip it on my belt right now, and it gives me other pockets to put stuff in. And then on the back, Windy City Thetan Watch, and ask me about the cult. So you should see me out there with that more often now these days. All right. We take that off the screen and stop that share and present. And we'll come back. Chrome tab. Thetan Watch. Share. I'll take it off screen for just a minute. Okay. Thank you, Queen Suki. Now, now that we've got everybody here and we've heard an awful lot of information, and I'm going to say that some of it's been, he said, she said, there's been receipts, and I would say I personally question some of the receipts and everything like that. But what I think is important right now is that on my channel, we're still going to protest Scientology. And I just don't care about all that stuff. And we had a little bit of issue this afternoon. I really want to say I don't care about any of the behind the scenes stuff. And if it's behind the scenes, it should remain behind the scenes. So please, when we're on my channel, I want you to please give me the grace to say, we're going to be there for the sole intent of protesting Scientology and to support the other protesters that are out here in the area. It's my personal opinion that the proper etiquette, you shouldn't be saying, "Hey, Larry's live. Let's go over there," in somebody's chat. You're really trying to steal their people away, right? You shouldn't be talking poorly about other streamers. I don't want to hear that you're talking that you're talking about what other streamers are saying or doing that is a negative element. Now, if you've got something exciting to say about that, great. Let me say that I love the way Larry does his protest. Love it a lot. Okay, but on my channel, we're going to protest Scientology first, and when we get rid of Scientology, I'll pick anybody else you want to go after, but we're going to go after Scientology first. All right, and I hope that's okay with everybody. Okay, now for the rest of today. Oh wait, I've got two more interesting things. Want to take that off the stage. Sorry. This coming week is June 15th, and there are two things happening this coming week on June 15th. Howdy, Nancy. Hi, Queen Zuki. Dave, great seeing you. This coming week, there is an Ideal Org opening in Battle Creek. And I know I mentioned this earlier on my screen or on my stream that I was probably going to go. I got home. My partner informed me that I have plans next week, so I am not going to be able to get to the Ideal Org. But if you're anywhere in the Midwest and you think you can get up to Battle Creek, I would encourage you to go up there and see if you can do whatever you can to protest the church's opening. I will say I found this on Chicago Scientology Audit channel. So Shannon was able to find this, and we're seeing that on June 15th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Something else that's interesting about this is we're seeing Joe Sakala in here. Now, Joe Sakala is a big deal in the Chicago org. His son is the executive director in this space. So that's one thing. He is the partner or founding partner of Dream Exchange. And Dream Exchange is an organization that they do venture capital for small firms. But the other element they do is a lot of the staff workers in Chicago are also employed at Dream Exchange. So he's got a tight connection with the idea that his son is the executive director, and all of his other sons and daughters are staff members of Chicago. More, in addition to that, he's been a fundraiser for quite some time here. He's a new civilization builder, and he also happens to be the attorney of record for the complaining witness, Chadwick Burke, who is the complaining witness in Nance Drew's case. So not only is he a donor, he's also offering his legal services to help support the church. Okay, so there's that. Now, in Chicago next week, there will be a Juneteenth celebration. Juneteenth being when the Black people were finally freed in Texas several years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So it's a rather important date. It's shameful that the date had to go that far, but it's a rather important date in Black history. So let me take that off again. I have a whiteboard that I keep up over here, and it kind of gives my notes of what should I be doing right now. I am going to head back over to another screen. So let me take that off. Present, share screen. Okay. We had a pretty eventful week this week. Now we're going to kind of do some speed plays. If there's any questions that you have about what's going on here, you want to add in some comments, that's great. Really love it. The reason I do these speed plays is that when I'm out there for 2 and 3 hours at a time, there are some dead spots in that. And if you're somebody who's trying to rewatch this, with the chapters, it helps. But I kind of want to just piece this together so that you're able to watch what's happened in this space. So the first one I'm going to bring up is I think it was Tuesday I was out there. And on Tuesday, as I approached the org, we're only about 8 minutes in. I'm walking up to the org. Also, let me make sure that the sound is running on this as well. But we're approaching the org, and I've already found the body router, but he's going to start walking back towards the door pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did go inside, but I think he passed one off just before he left.
I'm running down there. That's not speed play. I'm looking to see if he passed off a flyer to the person that's in front of Paisans right now. But he's gone inside, right? And now the traditional, let's get the blinds down.
Hey, Anastasia.
So Anastasia,
look at that. She's smiling. Hi.
I think that's strange that I'm getting interactions from these staff members now. So in this situation, she's absolutely smiling when she comes over here. She used to do the on tech, right? But now she's smiling. And I'm going to tell you that he's still angry with me, right?
How are you?
Howdy, Marcia Smith.
He likes to be angry with me.
So the blinds are coming down.
So there are people that, maybe we like the way they protest, maybe we don't like the way they protest. I'm going to say that I feel good about the fact that they bought this multi-$100-million building, and the moment I show up, they have to close up their retail space.
Did you hear that? So I think that's important to me, right? And maybe other people see that there's value in this as well, but this is a multi-$100-million building, and there was an awful lot of donation that went into this, and a lot to get this organization open. A lot of money went in here, and I love the fact that when I show up, they close up their retail shop. So they look very suspicious to anybody else in the neighborhood. This is not a welcoming look when your shades are pulled down and you're trying to tell people that you're a church trying to welcome everyone. The other day, apologize, maybe it was yesterday, Aaron was substituting for Natalie, and he had wondered why these shades are down. And at first, I thought it was they didn't like that I was out in front. They didn't want staff members to know that I was out in front. But it really is, I think that what it is that these organizations look empty, and they don't want any possibility of this empty organization being shown to other organizations around the nation and around the world. Okay, so that's what's going on in this particular, in my opinion. I think that's why they're closing these blinds. Let's see here. Here, I'm just pontificating about why I do this retail protesting. And the key point here is that I'm only really talking to one person at a time, and I'm getting a flyer away from one person when I do this. But people have reminded me that by my keeping that one person out, I'm probably keeping a family out. And the other part of this is, if I'm in front of a large group of public people waiting for or trying to talk somebody out of their flyer, if other people are hearing me, not only am I helping the person that received the flyer, but I'm also educating and informing others that are in that area. I'm going to jump ahead to, here's a staff member running to the org, and I'm going to ask him a question.
Hey, will Scientology let you talk about Scientology? That's a cult, right?
Yeah. The idea that Scientology won't let them talk about this, if we ask them this, my hope is, and again, I don't know that it's going to work, but when I go to sleep at night, that last couple of seconds before I finally fall asleep, my brain's pretty susceptible to other thoughts that are out there and things that went on during the day. I hope that that question is one of those things that pops back into any of these people's heads as they fall off to sleep, and that they start to slowly wake up on this idea that, yeah, why can't I talk about the church? We're going to see another
Does the church allow you to talk about the church? So we saw the headphone tech was in full order there, right?
Not only is it headphone tech, but they're playing pretty loud music in the hallway right there as well. My mic can usually isolate it, but even I could hear it right there, that there was music in the back. This one is interesting. So this woman, you won't be able to see it, but I noticed it when we were there. So here's another one walking down the street.
Will the church let you talk about the church? She has, I don't know if you could tell, but her earrings, they're the Scientology emblem. So the S with the two triangles, right? KAS, CAS.
And actually, I think it's ARC. It's KAS ARC. But she had the Scientology earrings on, which I just thought was hilarious. Next one's Chad Olson coming up. The thing that I think was funny about this.
What have you done for human rights today, Chad?
Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you. ARC, KRC. Why was I thinking KAS? All right. And now ARC, KRC, and now I want chicken at this point in time. When Chad walks up, his shirt is untucked. And I just think, wow, that's got to be out ethics in this space. Now, I'm told that in other places, somebody told me in Austin, it's the same thing, that they don't tuck their shirts in. But the reason I asked him, what has he done for human rights today? In the past, he one day walked up to the org and he said, what do I have against human rights? At which point I challenged him and said, hey, human trafficking is not human rights. Maybe you need to word clear that. So there's our fun with Chad. We're going to see one more staff member.
Talk about the Church of Scientology?
Yeah, still can't talk.
That's almost the definition of a cult. The way to really control people is to lie to them.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard.
And I do hope that as the days go on.
All right, L. Ron Hubbard, the best way to control people is to lie to them. This one, I'm always saddened by this one. This is an older staff member. She does, no one, or Patrick's going to remind me, is it Reg? She does letter writing, or Reg. No, it's letter writing. So she's the one that's trying to tell people, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Come on back. And I know there's actually a hat for that, but I don't remember what the name of it is. But you can see, right, she's got the cane there. She's got that big backpack. She's hunched over. We've talked to her before, and she has terrible back pain, and she won't take medicine because the church won't let her. Letter registrars, thank you. And her chiropractor is no longer around, so she can't get therapy for this. Let's stop here for a minute. The all black person right across the street, that's a Scientologist. There is an older woman, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term. This woman is of age, trying to get across the street. Why is he not out there helping?
Are you okay trying to get across the street?
All right. Remind me to put my windsock on the mic. I didn't realize it was coming through that much.
I just can't assist her because I know I'm going to get in trouble for that Scientology is going to tell me I'm assaulting somebody.
So I'm going to get out there and try to. I'm coming behind her so that.
I'm going to see if I can stop traffic the other direction.
This is the value Scientology puts on human life and their staff members, right? It's just ridiculous that this is allowed to continue in that space. This was lunchtime that day, right? And I was intentional about the titles that day. I'm only here to protest Scientology. I don't care about all the crap that's going on in the background. So, all right, let's move on to the second protest of the day.
That's really the way I feel, is that folks.
Pause that. Walk to the org. When I got there, so this is again Tuesday, and you can see right here, this garden, this flower bed isn't that big, but they have these flower beds on the street, and the flower beds typically have a single tree in them. And Scientology is actually planting flowers in theirs. So
Got
this
the
is
nice dirty
all
look there?
new plants that are in there.
Oh, it might just be the gardening. So they've done gardening here.
At first, I thought it was a city.
Okay, so right now we've got somebody in looking at a video monitor. So there is a recruit in there. And over here, it's not Anastasia, but we have seen this young lady before. As soon as she sees that I'm here, oh, there's our body router and back. Oh, he's got a weight of happiness. And the OSA's, the DSA's here.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that are happening right now. I'm unaware of it right now. I just thought those were gardeners from the city that were out there planting those plants. I didn't really take notice of what was going on. And at this point, I recognize, wait a second, the body router, he's got his white shirt and his tie on, his button-down white shirt and his tie on, but he also has a T-shirt over the top, which is the Way to Happiness. And that Way to Happiness, it's a nice, pleasant yellow and green in a circle. It's got a circle with a wavy horizon and a sun on the top and water on the bottom. And that's interesting. And then I realized that, wait, the girl behind me is also in that same shirt, and we're about to see a lot of others come up the street with Way to Happiness shirts on. So the first thing we're trying to do is make sure we get the blinds down.
I haven't seen the DSA since the Sunday that they unveiled my name.
Yeah, and the DSA has been hidden from me for a long time.
So I'm believing that Way to Happiness is going to be the flyer that they're going to try and pass out today.
That was a civilian. When a civilian walks by, I tend to try to put the camera up in the air.
I don't know if you can see him, but
everybody in our program.
The body router that we most often have contact with is kind of looking at me.
I'm feeling bad right now. I normally have the blinds down by now. My powers were weak this day. They're eventually going to come over here.
Nice.
Look at.
I haven't added the poop emoji. Dave. Oh, but I do think we have enough subs that I can add one or two more emojis.
So here comes the lady from the desk.
See if we can get the wave. So she just mouthed something to herself.
I'm pretty sure what she mouthed was, God, that bald guy looks hot out there. So now
Does the church let you talk about the church? So we'll take that as a no. That's usually how cults react. So it's the white shirt today.
Now, the next group is we're going to see skateboard guy, the one that always comes with a skateboard. I think Jessica and two very young children. I'm going to guess 6 to 8 years old, right?
Today. Does the church let you talk about the church? It might be a cult if you can't talk about your church. Children can't consent. Hey, you're sitting.
Okay, so the children just walked in. Those children came up in the Way to Happiness shirts. I think that they're staff members' children at this point in time. Yeah, it really, really annoys the daylights out of me that they've got these young people going in. The guy in the all black right here, I, for the life of me, can't. I've replayed that 1,000 times. I have no idea what he said, and I couldn't tell if he was talking to me or if he was talking to the two gardeners that were standing behind me. Let's see what's next. Okay, so the next thing we've got is this is long distance routing. Oh, so you can buy the Way to Happiness shirt from them just like you could buy a book? That's buy your uniform for me and then go out and give away these flyers that some wealthy patron who's on the RPF had to go and fund. But across the street from me right now, you're going to see there's a Scientologist, and the guy in the white is about to get a flyer handed off to him.
It's a cult. It's the cult of Scientology. Es una secta. I'll come and help you in a second.
What? I laughed inside when I replayed that and said, "I'll come and help you in a second. Wait, just wait right there. I'll be over to help you in just a second. Let me get you out of this cult. Hold, please."
Do you know who that is? All right. Do you want that? May I? Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So
it's just a money organization.
Flyer captured. I am looking to go through all of the video to recatch all of that information. Let's see here. Yes, got him. Thank you, Fuzzy. So we see our body router right here, right? And I'm about to go walk up to him. You can. He's going to give me a dejected look. He really hates when I show up these days. Although we're going to see something different about today's video, so stay tuned. We're going to see a different reaction from our body router today.
A human trafficking cult. Might as well go home. Pack it up. No cult propaganda today.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. I love that I can give him directives and he's listening to me. And it's got to be eating him up inside. But yeah, I'm still following you. Get out of here. And he's going to go all the way back to the org. So he'll keep on looking back the whole time that he's trying to do that. Now, when I get back there, you can see that I'm about to click on the 1 hour element. I've been away from the org trying to find the body router this whole time, and they think that it's safe to reopen the retail space.
Chalk was okay 20 minutes ago, and why chalk is not okay now. Oh, windows are open.
So I'm going to quickly pull the blinds.
So this is the guy on the bicycle, and he's probably getting a TR. So the blonde woman probably saw me, and I'm sure that they're going to come forward. Oh, we've got Anastasia here. Let's get these shades back down. 100% agree with that. Hello. You can tell she smiles when she comes down here. Now, I know it's because I've got an awesome gray beard, and the girls go crazy over the gray beard. But I think that they're starting to like the cat and mouse game and understand what's going on here.
So I'm going to fumble on this. Dave, Patrick, help me out here. I'm pretty sure that I'm a declared SP, but even if I'm not a declared SP, I'm somebody that they can't talk to. So I think they're instructed not to talk to me, and that I'm the devil, right? That I'm supposed to be this evil person that is a criminal, and I'm only a thug telling lies about this church. But I think because my presentation is seldom confrontational, I'm just asking them questions, right? I'm calling them by their name when I know their name. I think that that's de-escalating this idea that I don't think he's the devil. He doesn't seem to be the devil. So that's the part that says it feels like there's a breakthrough saying they don't see me as this evil creature as much anymore, just because oftentimes you'll see the smile. I'm some of the staff members. First thing I'll say is, "How are you doing today?" and I'll get a response from them. So that's been kind of interesting, or a different change that we've seen in this point. Okay. Yeah, that's my understanding as well, right? And that, so Patrick's given us the technical that I've got to be able to talk. I can only talk to the International Justice Chief. Question: is there an International Justice Chief everywhere? One per continent? One per org? One per country? I'm going to jump on to. This was an interesting interaction. So earlier, right when I ran across the street to get that flyer away from somebody, there was a woman in red, right? With red, sorry, a woman with red hair. And here we're going to see her again, but she's persistent. Normally, these people walk away from me when I show up. They do not want me to be anywhere near it. They kind of give up on the target that they're trying to pull into the org. So let's kind of watch that real quick.
It's a cult, ma'am. It's a cult.
Howdy, Lavender. Welcome in.
It's a money-hungry cult. They're going to give you a personality test. They're going to tell you something's wrong with you. They have the book to fix it. Miss, can you talk to me about the church? No, you're not allowed to talk to me about the church. I'm not going to let this flyer get handed off. Thank you, Anna.
This has me a little bit stammered. I'm like, what's going on here? They usually give up by now.
As I've always said, they have a First Amendment right to share their propaganda. I'll give them that First Amendment right. I will chat with this person.
So now I'm getting a little bit impatient, and I'm going to start talking about the crimes of Scientology. Or maybe now. Oh, I'm way too patient. I don't know if I've ever heard this woman talk, so I can't tell if she has an accent.
Just want to make sure the sidewalk's clear for people to come by. And I will do what I can to have this woman go back to the org.
So I just put 5 seconds in.
Lisa McPherson died at their hands. They wouldn't let her go to the hospital. Danny Masterson sexually abused 3 women. The church would not let those women talk to the police. When those women did go to the police, they were ostracized from their family. They call it disconnection. The church actively prevented the police from understanding a crime took place. Look up Lisa McPherson.
Now she's done with the conversation. So she's
Lisa
walked
McPherson
away,
died at their
no
hands.
fire.
Look up Danny Masterson. Look up Lisa McPherson.
She's going to there's going to be a secondary interaction that's about to occur here.
Just trying to give them space. Let them have their space. Lisa McPherson had a psychotic break. They broke her out of the hospital, and then she died days later.
I was just speaking to the woman in white that was the attempted recruit.
For all of those in the chat,
She's
I
either
am
calling
giving this
OSA
woman
or
her
the police
space.
right now.
I am letting her proselytize.
So she doesn't know where she's at right now?
You're at Dearborn and Polk.
I like being helpful.
Tell the police I said hello.
So she doesn't like that I'm following her. She's either called OSA or she's called the police. I think she's called the police because she didn't know where she was at, and the police would have wanted an address. I, I can't play through my head why she would want to tell OSA that where I was at, or anybody back at the org where we were at this point in time. So let's see. I don't think. Yeah. There wasn't too much more activity that we saw on that day. Howdy, Marina. Good to see you. Welcome back. All right. Let's go to. All right. This video has an interesting backstory. On Friday, I'm in a tough mental space. As I've mentioned, there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that went on this past week. There was a lot of tearing into individuals and some personal attacks that went on. I was not happy with it. People that I know and care about were in this scenario, and I just wasn't feeling good. So during the day, I went out and I did a Windy Wanders the City episode, and we did the last third of the 606 trail, and Fuzzy's been giving you some links to that as we go through here. And while I was out there, Joe Cool called me and it said, "Hey, I'm in town. Do you want to go cop watching?" I said, "Yeah, I want to go cop watching." So I went and I did cop watching for a while. Now, something was very surprising is that Shannon was also with him. So, and I didn't know that until I got in the car. But so we went cop watching. Once we got done cop watching, I said, "You know what? I'm going to run by the org real quick," and that's what's going on here, right? So we're at the org. We've been doing. I've been doing cop watching during the day. I did a Windy Wanders during the day, and this is only I think it was a 30-minute, 42-minute video. But so 3 minutes into getting here,
So we've got
pulling the blinds already.
the body routers out already.
Oh, and I'm in vertical mode. We're going to give up on vertical mode quickly.
We've got the shades coming down already. All right, let me go horizontal. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. And UK Fluffer, I appreciate you being reasonable with that.
There's the body router that I saw on Tuesday, right? The redhead.
Howdy, Lewis. So we've got one of the Sakala boys here, which is funny because we were talking about Joe Sakala Jr., the father. The redhead here is the one who called the police on me the other day. The police never arrived. Howdy, Israel.
So let's see here. Oh, it's fairly quickly. We get our a contact with a recruit. So somebody's going to walk out of the org.
So we've got, it's a cult, right? All right.
Bro, that all their personalities are like completely dead.
Yes.
It's so weird.
They're a very dead affect.
If I turn
You
up on this
chat-
side, does that help you?
Okay.
Oh, it seems to
So
be max volume.
you went in. Did you get a flyer or did you just went out of curiosity?
I mean, I'm just like playing around with them.
Okay.
I mean, I got a few books and a DVD or whatever.
Nice.
I don't really care about it. I know it's a cult.
Yeah. And again, I tell them, if you want to look at something, but just be aware of what you're actually looking at.
I'm confused though. Like, what is the cult?
So what happened is they may have actually offered you a book as well today, or they just give you free flyers. Okay. The next time you come in, they'll give you a personality test, and they're going to tell you that there's this little thing that's wrong with you, and I've got a book that'll fix it. So then you'll say, cool. And then they'll say, after you've read that book, they'll say, and we can put you on this course. And it just keeps on escalating from there on up. Now, that's the money problem of this element.
You got to pay the money to get the course.
Right. Now, that's only the money. Now, the cultic part about this is that you'll watch that when they come by here, I'll ask them, can you talk about the church?
Yeah.
They can't. They're not allowed to have their own opinions. were they able to tell you anything, or did they point you at a machine?
They're just pointing me at machines
Right.
every time.
So they're not allowed to tell you about the religion. You have to look at the religion and you have to buy a book. So that's one thing that's cultic about it. Then you think about the criminal behavior about this church. So the financial fraud, they open up credit cards in their parishioners' names, and then they default on the credit cards. Do you know Danny Masterson? So Danny Masterson was an actor, that 70s show. But anyhow, he's a member in good standing with this. He's right now serving, no, he's in Hollywood. He is serving 30 years to life. He sexually abused 3 women from the Church of Scientology. The Church of Scientology would not let those victims report those crimes to the church for 20 years. When they did report it, they practiced something called family disconnection. Those victims could never, ever again talk to any of their family.
That's crazy.
That's what this is about. And again, when you went in there, it seemed reasonable, I'm guessing, right? That, hey, okay, there's interesting stuff that's in here.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they are like, oh, this can help you in your life. If you want to fix drug problems, you can do this, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like showing me at the machines, making me watch these videos.
Yeah.
They were super boring.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Were you on the first floor the whole time, or did they take you upstairs?
I tried to go upstairs. I was asking to go upstairs just to check it out, whatever. But they said come back tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Patrick. And we do have an interview from a couple of weeks ago that was the question, right? I don't know if you heard him, and Dave gave me some tips, but I'm unwilling to play with the tips in the middle of the live here. He said, "Yeah, this can help you with that." Right when they're looking at all the monitors, oh, this can help you with that. This can help you with the other thing. I asked him if he was able to go upstairs. They said no. He said, "Can I go upstairs?" And they said, "Well, come back tomorrow." And I'm guessing that's just a kind of a testing mechanism to see whether or not the person is truly interested in regards to what's going on. But there's another section in here that I think is really, really important, and he asked me a question about them right now. Howdy, Rika. Welcome in. You got a great job out there today.
having just talked to me, you probably won't be able to go in tomorrow. It'll be interesting if you can. They declare me, I'm a suppressive person. You see the white camera over there?
Yeah.
And this camera right here? Yep. And they watch my YouTube channel because I'm out here protesting every day.
As you should.
Yes.
It's crazy. I've seen TikTok
As you should.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't understand why their personality is so deadly. Like,
So did you hear that? I don't understand why their personality is so dead, though. And I'm going to respond saying, "Oh, that's strange. They should be very personable to you." And he goes, "No, they were very nice to me. But then when you look at them, their eyes look dead."
it's like they're being forced to not do anything or say anything.
It is. Now, one thing that should have happened is they should have been rather engaging because they're supposed to be able to draw you in.
They were engaging, yeah.
Okay.
I just seen something rolling their eyes, like
Yeah,
they
that
were staring down at me. I don't know.
it's funny. I have ex-Scientologists in my chat, and they'll say the same thing. We call it the zombie look, right? They're just dead and a mute affect, and there's no individual think. So they're just regurgitating what they've been told to think. So it's it strips your individual identity and makes you identify as the group. And as you identify as the group, you no longer care about these other parts of your life that are out there. I mean, it's really scary stuff. And I'm going to say something that all of those people in there are genuine heart. They went in there with a pure thought of what they're trying to do. They don't know they're in a cult. That's the sad thing about what's going on.
Right? Even though so many people are telling them.
Correct. Well, they're told that I'm the devil and I'm a criminal, I'm a bad agent, all kinds of things that are out there. So,
Crazy people.
no. Interesting.
Yeah, man. So you're live right now.
I am. So,
on YouTube
yeah.
or Twitch?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
Can I get your YouTube?
yeah. Do you have a phone?
I was going to say, I loved when all of this, and I get one subscriber. It's like, that's a lot of work to get I don't know how I'm going to get to 100,000 if this is the way that you get a subscriber. We're going to kind of quickly go through here because he's going to walk away and then walk back up to me. So right now he's just looking at my channel and getting that. So let's see. He walked back up.
I don't have my second mic. Oh, sorry. Yes.
You do.
So the skateboard. Yeah. Nice.
What happened to him? Like,
He's in.
Scientology.
He's the leader.
He's the leader.
He's the leader of.
So he just asked me about the skateboarder, Aaron Cairo.
The San Francisco organization.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he was just announced within the last few months. He
I
is.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, he was in Scientology.
Yeah.
And he used to say, like, it helped him with skating. Shit, maybe I got to join Scientology.
Correct. Yes. That they'll talk about. So Dianetics is the modern mental health. What if you actually read any of their books? It's kind of common sense. It's almost like golden rule type elements. If you're nice to others, they'll be nice to you. And it's like that. It's in their books. They say, "See, didn't that?" Yeah, Cairo is one, and it was funny. He's recently had an interview, and he was able to shade that question because we didn't day org. So there are two shifts here. There's a day org and a night org or foundation. He is the executive director, which is the managing person of this building, but out in San Francisco. So, and again, that
But he seems like a nice
Skater
guy.
co- yes.
Seems like he's not.
he has a much better personal affect because he was, let's say, famous, right, in regards to what's going on. And I understand that he was a great skater, but I don't know if he's a competitive skater. He was just a good influencer, and he's got the company, right? So, and again, he's a better skater than I am.
He's not the best. Not the best. But he's quite old.
I just want to stop it there. He's not the best, which was just, I loved when I heard that line. All right. So I love when I'm able to find people and give them this much information. Oftentimes there'll be other people around. This is a nice piece of evergreen interview piece that, people will probably re-engage with that little section right there. So yeah, just really, really fun. We're going to kind of fast forward and see. Oh, this was the only snarky thing I did all week. Some of you may get this. Some of you may not. Yeah, Michael, that's what he had said. And he was able to say no and legitimately say no because the answer didn't shape it to the head of Scientology in San Francisco. He made it sound like, did you ask me if I was in charge of all of Scientology? So just that. I hate the semantics there, but yes. All right. So this, I'll say that it was a highlight of the week for me.
If you had a YouTube channel, would the church let you pick your moderator?
All right. And that's the last we're going to speak of that. We're going to find the redheaded body
Darn
rider.
it, I was thinking of something. Oh, there is a Scientologist with a flyer. So she's straight ahead of me.
So she's ahead of us in, if you can see.
Not sure if you can see, but the redhead right with the dark suit in front of me.
Just went around the corner. She's got some hustle today.
Yeah, I want to see what she does with the flyers now.
So I've crossed.
So she saw me and walked back the other direction.
I'm going to walk up the right side. And we'll just kind of pass through here. She's walking really, really fast right now.
Sorry, I missed your side by other.
And I feel like I'm a fast walker.
State Street. Body wrapper. And then I have shoes on. And these two people come out. Right? Why do I think it's a cult and what makes them a cult? I went through the have there. A Masterson story. What is that? Did he say?
So we're going to go a couple of blocks. She's got this now is State Street, and we're going to go one more block after this. She's sitting there at the corner. I don't want to get too close to her. She's not making contact with any people yet, so I don't really care.
That is a good point. And he may have known some of the stuff. And I apologize if somebody posted it, but he did come back to me and let me know.
As I get around here, great. We can still see her right half block ahead.
So far, the body got to the
around the corner.
The last time I was here, the Sakala boys told the desk person to do it because management can't be caught doing the shades. And then a young fella came out. Oh.
So I just realized she's in here. She's at the counter. Okay. Now I'm going to stand here for a second, and all of a sudden I realize that the two clerks are looking at me. And all I can tell is she's telling a short story, right?
So she's in grabbing a Duncan. I want to see if she's going to try and drop a flyer off. Remember that I have seen them drop flyers off the other Duncans.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
We were able to ask a couple of members if they were in a cult, and we received no response. What? National Donut Day? I need to go in there.
Yeah, somebody in my chat told me it was National Donut Day, and I'm in a Dunkin'. I didn't know that.
She's trying to give the short story to the Dunkin' Donuts guy.
So you saw his palm. I waved to him, and then he waved back. And now I'm going to go in the store and say, "Here's why I'm here." Thank you, David. But did you bring me a donut? No.
If she didn't pass out flyers for the cult, I wouldn't be following her.
So I just wanted to clarify what the story was that she was telling him. A little while later, the one of the clerks is going to come.
So I could tell that he was
talk a little bit. I'll give him a little bit of information about. I can't tell why she's in there. So this is one of the clerks.
She's from the Church of Scientology. She's passing out flyers for their cult. Windy City Thetanwatch.
Windy City Thetanwatch?
Yep. So Thetan is the fake spirits that they believe in. They're a human trafficking
see
cult.
The YouTube channel.
Do you know Danny Masterson? He's in jail right now for sexually. Huh? Okay, so he's in jail right now for 30 years to life because he sexually assaulted 3 members of that church. The victims were not allowed to come forward to talk to the police because they were. The church said you can't. When they did, the church ostracized them. So that's. And she's passing out flyers. The only reason I follow her, she's passing out flyers, and I want to tell people that she passed out the flyers too.
The guy on my right's getting a little bit snarky back.
I want to give her space.
So now the chase is going to be on. This, yeah, I was very surprised at what's going to happen. So we get about a block down.
Just want to have a look. Crossing the street up ahead of us. She hasn't.
So we're walking from Wabash to Access State. She's going to stop.
I guess that she's going to have to be.
She's on the other side of the street to my north, which is to the right of the screen.
Oh, the big guy. Ain't nobody around here want nobody being on film. Go film her.
At this point, you're not going to see it on screen, but the chat blows up about, hey, you're in public. Shut up. Let me speed up a little bit. We'll get past the light. When I come around this corner here, I'm going to see her, and she's going to start running across the street. So she starts running right here. She's going to keep running for 2 blocks. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? This is not one of the 20-somethings in the group.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how many cameras are inside Duncan, right? Inside the
and she'll keep on running, and eventually we get her back to the org, right? But I just loved the idea that now not only are they going back to the org, they're running back to the org. Then this was a terrible thing that happened. I've got better audio on my body cam, but I was unprepared to come out here. Remember, I told you that I was in a bad mental space when I kind of went out for the day. I was doing the windy walks and then did the cop watching with Joe Cool. And so I don't have my batteries. I don't have a few things. I've just got the gimbal and the phone, and that's it. This guy just came out of the org, and we have a great conversation. My phone is on mute right now. But basically, he just came out of the org. I've explained to him almost the same as we did with the skateboarder that was out here earlier, that, hey, it's a cult. Well, why do you think it's a cult? And then I talked to him a little bit about the money, the escalation of money. And again, I don't think the escalation of money is cultic. That's just unethical. What I do think is cultic is the crimes, and we go through those crimes as well. So there's not much great video on this, and even on the body cam, because the body cam's at my waist, you're going to see his just his chest and down. But we talk about it, and he's like, oh, and he mentions that his friends told him that this is a goofy place or to stay away from this place as well. So, all right. Let's go now to the weekend. This is Saturday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me open this up. Oh, no. Did I not clip this?
Anything positive to say about your church?
Notice she hiding her face.
Is there nothing positive about this church? Aren't we going to save the world here? All right, folks, we've got quite a cadre out here. I think I'm going to see if I can go around the neighborhood, see if we can find anybody, and we'll go from there. Howdy, Frizinu. Yes.
Okay, so I've just showed up at the org. Corn's there, Never and Nana's there, and Juanita's there. And since they're all here, I'm going to go wander the neighborhood, right? And again, I've encouraged people that if you can, please come out to Chicago and help us protest. It helps everybody if we can have people, near the door to make sure that we're able to confront people coming in and out, go and check on the back door. And then when there are enough people at the org, it's very easy for me to think, okay, cool. Now let me see if I can go find some body routers. And we're going to head out. And sorry, I'm going to have to scrub through this because I thought that I had put chapters in here, but I haven't yet. Going to put you over here. So where we're at, we're on Dearborn. Remember that the org's on Clark Street. The next street to the east is Dearborn. And every Saturday in Dearborn, there's a farmer's market. This is the farmer's market, and I'm about to walk into the farmer's market.
All the way to Wacker and into the Dunkin' Donuts. And there is a sign routing. Sorry. I just want to get over to the other side real quick. Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm going to see a Scientologist in here, but they're just a customer, so I don't care. And by that, they're not passing out stuff. So
yeah, so there's a Scientologist eating out of the green chip bag. She's not proselytizing, so again, I don't really care to interact with them. I just want to make sure they don't.
And now I'm just looking at the vendors and the tables. I want to make sure
she's just walking around
table here.
As a typical customer would in this space. And I'm kind of scanning with my eyes to see if I can see any evidence that.
Whoa, what is this?
Did the woman in the blue suit give you that?
I'm going to pause for just a second. So I apologize for the camera angle here. I am not going to get director of photography ever, but there's a vendor right here. And this vendor has a Way to Happiness book on the table. And I've just asked him, hey, did that lady in the blue suit just give you that to you? And no. And then we'll listen to what he says for a little bit here.
Okay. Do you know what it is? It's Scientology. Yeah. So it's the lost leader to get you into Scientology. They won't show you on the back. Oh, actually, they might. They might have a little print there that says 650 South Clark. Yeah, Way to Happiness. Oh, see, they're even deceptive. They won't even tell you that it's if you call that, it's going to be Scientology over on.
So that's something that's interesting to me. These used to say, if you want another copy, go to Scientology at 650 South Clark. Now they say Way to Happiness Foundation and just a phone number. And by the way, I'm going to show the phone number in a little bit. Do not call that phone number unless you have a call block on, because they will record that kind of stuff. They want to. You're going to be put on a phone list if you do that. So that's what's going to go on here. Eventually, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to find one more person who's just sitting on the balcony, or not the balcony, on the grassy bench here. By the way, Garrett's popcorn is very good. I think.
If you need more in Chicago, call this number. What was on there? Last, you can get more of these at 650 South Clark. This one just says, if you need more in Chicago, call this number. And it just had a phone number on there.
Oh, I remember where it is. So just after I walk around this tent, I'm going to engage a woman, and she's got the flyer sitting on her baby carriage stroller.
I will say that I know that I always feel like I'm into what that store got up for that long. Sorry. Do you know that's the Church of Scientology?
So now this person,
they won't tell you. They're very deceptive.
And I'm just talking to her.
So please be very careful. If you call the phone number on the back, you're going to be directed to the Church of Scientology over on Clark Street. Do you want that? May I have it? Thank you. Thank you. I hate that they're out here. And do you know they're a cult, right? That they're just a money-grabbing cult. They sit in that church.
I think I'm going to
no problem.
Give you a screenshot of it quickly through here. Yeah, so we've got the way.
So again, it's Way to Happiness Foundation, Chicago.
I was always worried because the place that they're at, there's an awful lot of festivals down in the South Loop. And thank you, Fuzzy, using the God emoji. There's an awful lot of festivals down there in the South Loop. So it is a target-rich environment for people to come down and look at this. Okay. We're going to kind of scan through pretty quickly. There is a event going on next to the library, but I kind of go in there and I can't find anybody. Somebody comes out, they've got a duffel bag, but I can't really tell who they are. I follow them for several blocks. Nothing really comes out of it. Sorry, let me pause for just a second. This is one of those things that I really love, is that when I take that flyer, they can't rehand it out to somebody else, right? So it's important that I take that flyer for two reasons. I don't want that sitting in their home on some day when they're sad because they had a fight with their significant other, or they had a bad day at work, and they read this and think, maybe I'm going to look at that today, right? So it's very important to me that I take it from them so they don't fall prey to it later on. And then the other one is the idea that this is costing the org money every time that they have to reproduce these or reprint these. Sorry. So as I was saying, there's a function going on at the library. I follow this person very far away. I come back, and just before I go to the org, I decide, you know what, I'm going to go back to that festival one more time. And they're kind of shutting down. The day of the festival time is now ending at this point. Hey, why didn't that play?
From the Scientologist. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat right now. I'm really scanning very heavily. My head's moving right and left all the time. Oh.
Hey, folks, if anybody can get a hold of Aaron, he has said that he wants these to others. I've offered them to him. I'm just not getting a response from him. I don't know if I'm on his naughty list and he just doesn't want to talk to me, but I've got a lot of this. And I would love for anybody to let Aaron know that I've got a lot of paraphernalia that he can get to. And yeah, that would, I do. Well, actually, I think a little bit later in this one, I finally have the courage to go up to the cameras and show them what my stats are today. But I always wanted to do the darn it, Goodwill Hunting. Yeah, no, I message heard, sir. The Goodwill Hunting, when he gets the phone number from the girl and he sticks it up on the finger, and how do you like them apples? And I really want to do that, except for the fact that I knew that they would trespass me if I touched their glass. So
I found one. She's with the customer, so I'm going to wait.
So
I don't know if you can see there, but on that table, in between the two candle jars, right, or jelly jars, there's a Way to Happiness book.
I want to let her do her business, right? See, you can be kind and nice when you're doing.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you know what this book is?
And it's like OB better.
And again, I'm keeping people
No.
off camera
Do you know what this book
Oh.
is?
just because I'm really paying attention to them. Sorry.
I think someone actually like living here.
Okay, it's Scientology.
Oh.
Very dangerous.
Oh, okay.
So may I have that?
yeah, of
Okay,
course, yeah.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
So you can't see this. Now on the body camera, it shows up great because I am facing them. So there's a woman and her niece, and she tells me her name and her niece. And when I say, can I have that one? The girl very quickly goes under the desk and pulls out another one. So it's like, I like that girl. And then I'm going to give her a plug, and I want to let her have her.
Oh,
plug.
never go. You go to the church.
That is great.
Phone. If you go there, very nice.
I'm Eliza and my niece Caroline.
Very nice to meet you, Caroline.
Nice to meet you.
All right, and so pastry,
Pastry.
jellies,
Yeah, like butter spread.
Butter.
Pie. We can have Asian, yeah. Cake product.
Oh, okay. Yes.
She's going to give me her business card, and I'm going to flash it up here real quick.
Tropic Cake Chicago, okay?
Folks, this is Tropic Cake Chicago. All right.
Yeah, that's the one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take a picture of it when I get home on this, but let me know. Thank you.
So at this point now, right, I've got 2 more flyers and the one that I collected earlier. Yes. Thank you, Lavender. Let's see. I think the next thing I do is I get back to the org, and the ladies, I'm getting a message in my chat. By the way, when I'm talking to people, I'm not really paying attention to my chat. And as I kind of pull my head up from talking to this person I see in chat, that Korn was looking for something, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, something's going on at the org and I need to be there. It just turns out that they were getting ready for lunch. So I'm going to actually pass them as they come back. No, that's not true. I'm going to get up to the org. Oops. So right, we're
See ya,
3
Papa.
doors down. If you
So today, over at the farmers market, we're able to see this.
So I'm going to.
There are people in this chat that come from out of state to regularly come here.
I accidentally clicked on something there. So I showed this just above this little black barrier, and inside. So this is the black lamp is Paisan's property, and then a foot further is the Scientology building, and there's a big camera there. They have 2 big cameras there, and I'm going to go over to the camera, and you won't be able to see it, but you'll see that I'm facing the camera, and I'm showing.
We're able to see this.
There are 3 little
then
flyers.
Capturing
We'll call that
this.
phone number. So,
Hey, Osa. And I'm showing Osa the camera.
I just like.
So way to happiness.
Can
These
I
are
see
yep,
it?
yep. This one's even more nefarious. So this one doesn't say Scientology anymore. Now it says way to happiness with a phone number. People, don't call the phone number
Do not
unless you've got
call.
caller ID, because they will call your ID.
Are you ashamed of being Scientology? Are you ashamed? Wendy, good score. Good score. Here, look, I'm even gonna do this, you guys. I think that this is beautiful. So I'm gonna take a
So again, just a reminder, right? We've got Never and Nana there. Never End doesn't have a channel, but she's out there helping support the cause a great deal. You've got Juanita there. Juanita's channel, Fuzzy, you're going to have to help me on that. It's TETE something. And then Corn Freak is also out there with us today. We were going to go to lunch. Well, they were going to go. They wanted to go to lunch. I was thinking about going to lunch, but I was like, you know what? Let me just take one more lap around the building. And they head out to lunch. I'm going to go around the building. And I come out at the bottom of the street. I think it happens right away. Oh, yeah. I think you're seeing the body, not positive, but I think you're seeing the body router standing right there in front of that white car. Oh yeah, oh, sorry. Let me tell you what's happened here. I see the body router. He doesn't see me yet. So I've kind of come behind this light post to kind of hide myself from them. He's going to try to engage these 4 people here, and he's just going to reach his arm out. It's a weak effect to try to pass this out. But I hope you're going to see this when he finally recognizes that I'm there. He's going to have a reaction. Let me see if you guys can pick it up.
So the body router is on the other side of this pole.
Now I'm playing hide and seek.
Now, did you see he said, "Oh man"?
So he tilts his head back to the, oh man, and it was just awesome. They're not supposed to give me a reaction, right? But I'm getting a reaction out of these people, and so far he's not happy with the reaction, right? He's given me the finger in the past. He's said stuff to me in the past, but
You almost got it out there.
now I'm going to chase him back to the org. Figuratively chasing.
Could you see his expression on the camera? And I've just had here for, I think it was Freezing Unit Project. He was out here for quite some time.
So he went into the grocery store here.
They were, the door was still open. If you go back, I'm longer than there, and then came right back below. Nice. Yeah, he most likely is going to try to cross the street over towards Dearborn. I'm just going to look for a gap here in the traffic.
So,
and I'll cross.
I could play through this for a bit, but we play this cat and mouse game quite a bit lately, where he'll go across the street and then I'll kind of cut him off so that he can't go past me, and then he'll walk in another direction and I'll cut him off and he'll turn around and go past me. But what's really fun here is, okay, so we're still on Clark Street. This is now 7 minutes after where we were just at. Now we're 10 minutes later. Let me see where we're at. He still hasn't been able to get out.
He walks back across the street towards the org.
He finally gets around.
He's just standing there.
And he's ahead of me here.
He just looked back. Now he's going to run
across the street, and he just saw me. And he just started running. He's going to get around that corner very quickly.
Today I have my my running shoes on, not my dress shoes. So that should be a little safer. Now here again, he might have ducked into a store.
I like this next engagement because he inadvertently makes it so that I get to talk to 12 or 15 other, well, several other non-Scientologists. Can you see him there?
How you doing?
So
no, I'm just watching him.
Kind of, let me explain what happened here, right? He ducked in the bakery. It's a coffee shop type bakery. I waved to him, and the guy on the computer waved at me because he thought I was waving at him. Yes, TR3000. And you can just tell that the body router is annoyed with me. But since the guy waved at me, I let him know why I'm here.
He's a Scientologist, and he's passing out propaganda. The guy in the black, he passes out this stuff. And I try to let everybody know what the cult that they're in for. Yeah. I want to protect my neighborhood.
Now he's going to stay in there for several minutes. He's going to try to go out the back door, and then I go around back and I catch him in the back door. Then he comes back. He while it's still open, he goes back in. He kind of goes through the bathroom a little bit, and it's just a fun little cat and mouse game for quite some time. But as the next time I try and go around the building, I end up meeting our old friend, the Way to Happiness body routers. So this is remember, there's the two Eastern Europeans, the dark-haired female and the blonde female. This is the blonde female. Watch the reaction of the very large male that's with them. So they're in the Way to Happiness uniforms or outfits.
Call the police. I'm right here. You shouldn't be in public. I'm capturing their flyers.
Follow me. Don't follow me.
Don't be in public.
Follow
Don't be in
me.
public with your criminal cult flyers.
She's going to cam back me a couple more times here. But when she cam backs
So
me,
way to
she
happen
does
is-
something illegal.
Don't be in public. Don't approach me. Don't approach me. I will defend myself.
Right? So I never approached them. She tried to approach me.
They're passing out cult of Scientology stuff. Don't approach me. Don't approach me. Don't approach me. You're on video approaching me.
So one of the reasons why I'm saying don't approach me is so that when she brings that to the police, if they leave the sound on, they're going to hear that I'm standing still and she's trying to approach me, right? I think that was the end of that day. Bring that back. Then this morning, I did something just stupidly foolish. I decided I'd try and do vertical for just a little bit. Hello, Dusty. Thanks for coming in. So we're going to do about 15. Well, I'm not going to show you the whole 15 minutes, but for the first 15 minutes today, I did vertical. And then I turned it around. So I think the only thing interesting on the vertical was I was able to get the blinds down. So let me get there real quick.
I am coming up out of the LaSalle Street station, and we're heading over to the org. Gonna go quick. So, actually, in the vertical mode, oh no, I still see reflection pretty well, but you can see the body router there. We'll get the blinds down pretty quickly. Oh, the body router accidentally waved at me.
My dad's Mr. Windy.
The cafeteria is pretty full here today.
So there's
We've got what?
a lot of people in the cafeteria.
There's two people behind the barista counter, the custodial person and what I think is the barista here.
By the way, if you can see any of the comments that are going up there right now, they're all
Somebody just came
turn
out
the
to close the
freaking
front
video,
door.
vertical video off. Turn the freaking video, vertical video off.
What I'll do in just a second. Oh, damn,
Thank
kids
you,
just
Heidi.
went in too. Sorry, I didn't see that. Just trying to get the shade down. You know it's a cult, right? You can leave anytime you want to. Let me know and I'll help you out.
Let's see here.
I'm going to turn I'll turn the vertical off in just a second. I'm trying to fight against
I'm going to jump it forward a little bit. So here's two publics. I assume publics. They're at least in civilian clothing, and they look like they're intentionally walking into Scientology, and they are going to go into Scientology.
Should women be able to report crimes against them when they're committed by members of this church? Danny Masters is in jail for 30 years right now because he raped 3 women, and this church wouldn't let them report it.
So a couple of things there, right? That it always appalls me that a female hears a story like that and they're okay with it. They're just going to walk in, right? The other one that we've talked about this before, you saw the other couple walk by. Well, they turned their ear when I was able to talk about the Danny Masterson story. So that's now 2 more people that understand this place is a dangerous cult, right? Let's see. Was there anything else? Just one more of my new favorite question.
I want to tell everybody that Twyla hit it right on the head. That's the definition of a... Will Scientology let you talk about the church? You know, that's the definition of a cult.
All right. I'll give you a break from the verticals. That was funny. So if I look back at the comments on that video, there were actually a mixed review of, oh, I don't mind the vertical. It's fine. But I'm going to go with, I really want to do the vertical every once in a while. And I don't know what the circumstance will be, but it is to grow that audience. And one of the reasons, folks, I'm not looking for fame and fortune. What I'm looking for is a wider audience so that I can spread the awareness. Okay. And that vertical goes to a much wider audience. Thank you, Neuropsych, for the reminder. And Fuzzy has been putting the link up there, and it's been scrolling across the bottom all night. And yes, thank you, Cheryl. Hit that like button. Tonight, subscriptions are free. Please subscribe. You know what? Tomorrow they're going to be 50% off. But by the way, that's still free.
Raped 3 women. The 3 women couldn't come forward.
Oh, we're going to love that part. Let's see here. There's a lot of staff coming back to the org that don't want to talk to me. This is going to be one of my favorite reactions of the day, and I have a new hypothesis on what was happening here. But we'll start down here. So, for those of you who don't know, right, Scientology is on a street called Clark, and it's between Harrison and Polk, and that's really 200. It's 2 blocks long, right? There's no street in the middle, but it's 2 blocks long. It's 500 up the top. It's 600 up at the top, and it is 800 down here. So she's at Polk. I'm going to ask her a question. She's not going to want to answer it. By the way, she's already walked towards the church, but when I saw her, I walked south, and then she turned around, right? Thank you so much, Lavender. Love it, and I appreciate the support. That she's already walked south to avoid me. She is now going to walk around this block to come in from the north side of the street instead of the south side of the street. And we're going to see her pretty quickly. So first I'll ask her the question.
Will the church let you talk about the church? You know, that's the definition of a cult, right? So
as I walk north, I'm going to engage this is another younger member, right?
Will Scientology let you talk about your church? If you can't talk about it, it's probably a cult. Just so you're clear.
And now we're 7 minutes later from when that
Remember the
woman was on the
Scientologist
corner at
that
the
walked
bottom.
away from me at the bottom of the street? She's behind the bus stop right now. So she, minutes ago, right, we were down at the other end of the street, and at the street corner, I asked that young lady who had her back to us if the church would let her talk about the church, and she said no. And then she walked all the way around the block, and she is right now standing behind. I'm waving to her. She's standing behind the bus stop. That I'm going to tell you, it feels like a superpower that you're able to do this. I know. I know it's not face. It is fun, and again, it's their property, so they get to choose who they want to call. I just don't happen to be one of them.
Right.
Now she's moving up the street more.
Right. So she's not going to come across the street here.
You can see her crossing the intersection in the black.
I just have no idea how she's going to get to the org. Now, she might be somebody that's specifically not supposed to be on camera. So it's probably important that I
just think it's
figure
funny
out
that
what her face looks like.
I have an anti-magnetic power that disallows them from coming near me. 100% that there are people.
Sorry, this is just me kind of preaching my sermon, right?
That if I see them stop or I see them question, like I typically don't stop somebody who is walking directly past the org. But if somebody stops and looks at one of the protester signs, or if somebody stops and looks up at the sign of Scientology, I'll usually ask them, hey, do you know what they do in there? And that information is powerful, right? And they do probably live in the neighborhood. The vast majority of people that walk past here are within walking distance of here, or they work within walking distance of here. So when they hear that kind of information, they're out at the bar with a friend. They're having dinner with another friend. They're going to the beach with another friend. They're going to share that information.
All right, now we'll jump forward. I'm going to find the body router again.
I found him.
This is Curly, right? Is it Curly or Larry? I think we said Curly. So he's up at the top of the intersection here. He's on the Scientology side of the street.
I'm going to kind of hide here a little bit.
I'm going to hide.
He's at the corner up here.
Because I don't think he sees me
waiting
yet.
for the light to change. I just want to see if he'll cross.
he's like behind the light pole, and if we're looking
But
up
he's
the
just
street,
going to
he's on the
stand there.
opposite side of the
So
street.
I'll
And run back and blame.
speed it up. I'll go up to the top of the street. I right now point with my left arm towards the org.
That's right. Go home.
He moved when I pointed. He moved. It was just hilarious to me.
Again, I don't know if on this camera
When
you
I
saw
tell
it, but
him to go home, he
he
goes home.
smiled when I pointed my arm back towards the org, and he smiled. All the way back to the org. No cult propaganda today. Yes, yes.
So that was just a neighbor knowing that I was protesting Scientology. Howdy, Susan. Welcome in. Okay, he's going to try to get out again. I'm going to find him again.
Our body router's on the other side of the street. See him coming up by the bar?
He's behind that vehicle on the other side. Just
that I asked her, will the church let you talk about Scientology? And she walked away from me, and she walked all the way around that block, and she came over here. And then when she saw me come up to this side, she hid behind that bus stop so that I couldn't see her. And it was just funny.
So he's going to keep coming up. He's eventually going to see me.
I've got the light now, so I'll go across, but he's going to probably turn
You
around.
know, I want to
now
wait
that
for
I'm
this.
coming
I
up
want
here.
to show you this look.
So the body router's coming back out here.
Is it bad etiquette that I'm talking over myself?
That's the thing, is that I don't think the body router can watch what I'm doing. But OSA or DSA,
He just saw that I'm there, right?
now
So
where do you go,
turns
right?
around.
Can you see his reaction on the camera? Like, did you see when he finally realized I was in front of him?
Welcome in, Susan. Welcome in, Crows. The good news is you only get
Now,
highlights.
the downside of where he's at right now is that there's a parking lot that goes L-shaped around this bank. So there's a bank he didn't.
So he's walked all the way around the bank, and he now sees this gentleman in the blue sweatshirt, and he says, "That's my next target. I'm going to talk to this guy." And this is the most interesting interaction I've had yet. And when we're done with this interaction, I'm going to ask you what you think happened, and I'll give you an idea of what I think is happening.
It's the cult of Scientology. That's Scientology. They're a human trafficking cult. So they won't tell you, but it's Scientology. So Danny Masterson, he raped 3 women. The 3 women couldn't come forward to the police. The church stopped him from coming forward. Look up Lisa McPherson, look up Danny Masterson, look up any human trafficking, look up the Sea Org. You'll find that it's just a human trafficking cult. If you go in there, they'll give you a personality test. They'll say, oh, we found this little thing wrong with you. If you read this book, it'll fix it. That book costs money. Then when you get fixed by that money, they'll give you the next one. I'm doing something legal. It's my First Amendment right to discuss what's going on here. And he has the right to give you that. I just want to let you know that it's a very dangerous cult that they're mounted. Do you want that?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. He's talking in Spanish when he walks past me. He was talking in Spanish when he was on the phone. What do you guys think was happening there? I will give you until I take a sip of water for your responses. All right, you're going to find out I'm impatient. You guys win. It's possible he was calling the police, but he was speaking in Spanish. And I talked to Nance Drew, and Nance Drew said all of the dispatchers are bilingual, so they would have been able to speak Spanish as well. And I also then, right, is it calling the org, right? Is it calling the org or calling OSA, either one, right, in that space? I also think that he is recording me in that space. But this is the very first time that he's ever listened to me engage somebody. So every time before this, he's just walked away, right? That it just doesn't really seem anything interesting to him. So later on, I was thinking to myself, is he wondering what in the world am I telling these people that they want to give this flyer back? And I don't know that he can speak English I don't know how well he speaks English. I never hear him talk. And was he trying to get a translation of, from his friend, hey, what is this guy saying in that space? So it's, any one of those three things I think is great because, well, OSA knows, I guess, all of the things that we're going to be talking about out there, but anybody outside of OSA, you're giving them new information, right? That you're telling them about the Danny Masterson stuff, the Lisa McPherson stuff. And most people that are in Scientology, I would say a younger person in Scientology probably has no recollection of that. I don't even know if at the time that people knew about Lisa McPherson in that space. Yeah. And you know what? I would feel terrible for him because, again, I think he's innocent other than the fact that he's been tricked by this cult, right, in that space. But thanks for coming in. Can I call you Willie Nelson? Let's see here. So it's really intriguing to me that he stood there and that he recorded me. Now, again, if it was the police, I'm really not worried about it. I think they're all trying to build up a story that says I follow them, but I do think that I can stand where I need to stand. I think that I am going to go put in a TRO on the blonde lady because she keeps on approaching me. And I'm definitely going to put a TRO on the dark-haired lady. This one hasn't really ever approached me. Tina, I'm going to take this as the federales, right? So there's still going to be some fun in the rest of this interaction.
Got him. He had his phone face me, and I don't know if he's calling the police or if he's calling the org. I want to give him a little bit of space. So look at this. This guy's in his phone looking up Danny Masterson and Lisa McPherson.
Yeah, I just want to say that guy was bent over his phone like this as he was walking away. I feel very comfortable that he was looking up those proper noun names that I mentioned to them when we were interacting. He wants to know what the hell is this Scientology stuff that's going on. Now, our body router is going to, again, continue doing puzzling things to me.
Now, folks, when you ask me, do I care about these personality wars that are going on, or do I care about Scientology? This is why I'm out here. That education of that person is why I'm out here. I just saved one person. That's it, right? Just one person. But maybe it's his family that now knows that. In certain situations, there'll be other people behind me. Why are you walking backwards? Why are you walking backwards? Why are you walking backwards?
Similar to when the blonde...
I'm saying, why are you walking backwards? So that as he's recording this, when he shows the police, he'll have to show that.
Yeah, I just wanted that I'm vocally saying, I'm making the video harder for him to bring in front of the police.
I am merely collecting their cultish propaganda.
He's walking backwards again.
Why are you walking backwards, making it look as though I'm following you?
Now, I don't know. Can you video call the police? And I don't know the answer to that, by the way. Now I'm going to give him clear cog. And after clear cog, I think I'm going to give him...
do you have a reactive mind? Are you still mocking your reactive mind? Did you know that Xenu rounded up all of the ancient Thetans in the galaxy
and he brought them to Earth to throw them into the volcanoes and then throw the hydrogen bombs in there?
I know that I butchered that story, but again, sometimes I'm trying to think on my feet and I fumble some of this.
One of the
but
things you'll notice is that I
now
never
go ahead,
approach them.
what is this guy talking
They
about?
always
Venus?
approach
What is
me.
this guy talking about Thetans? What he's talking about atom bombs and volcanoes? So. Oh, I think I have a target on me. Let's see here.
Yesterday, the blonde female.
We're gonna do. This will be the last real segment.
So he's about to go across the street.
So it's just another game of cat and mouse. He's going to keep on trying to get across the street or get up to the up down the street or up the street, go through the buildings, and he's just not gonna. He's not gonna make it. So.
Hey, Jen, if you're still in, can you?
All right, I'm going to cut that there. I am going to take this off screen. Let's remind everybody of a few things. Tina, we're exceedingly glad that you're still alive. Oh, I knew exactly what you're saying, Neuropsych 93. I do want to continue to place the TROs in because I want to make sure that I'm the first actor in this stuff. Now, I think I have enough evidence, but if they put the TRO on me, then yeah, I've got a little bit of a problem that I've got to get through. So let me remind you of a few things we've done here tonight. We did our speed play, right? Now the speed play is just, we went through a week of videos that was 4 hours or so. We cut it down to maybe 90 minutes, but all you get is the highlights now. We started this with remembering that, Natalie and Tony are really in need of our support right now. And I'm thinking that most of us in this channel know who Natalie and Tony and my Tony are, and that want to give the support any way they can. We've been running their GoFundMe across the bottom of this the whole time. Fuzzy Pink Handcuffs has been dropping the link in there. There it is again. I'm going to encourage you as well. Just give Natalie and my Tony words of support. Send them an email, send them a text, let them know, but please tell them they don't have to respond. It's great that we're showing that they have care, but don't put the burden on them that now they have to say thank you, right? And trust me, they will say thank you. Just let them know you don't need to respond to me at any point in this time. We're just here to support you in that space, okay? The other one, let me see if I'm going to stop that screen share real quick. I'll present. Nance Drew will be in court tomorrow. So let's head over to linktree./Nance Drew and see if we can help her out. The Scientology has refiled the charge. Well, the state has refiled the charges, but at the behest of Scientology. Let's see here. There is an ideal org that's opening up in Battle Creek, Michigan, on June 15th. Okay. This is from Chicago Scientology Audit. This is Shannon. There is also a Juneteenth celebration that's coming up. That'll be at the Chicago org on June 15th. Again, on June 15th, there'll be something going on in Chicago and something going on in Battle Creek. And I have a new media vest. The Windy City Thetanwatch asked me about the cult. And then on the front, I've got press, so it makes it a little bit more official, and the police shouldn't be hassling me in this situation. Plenty of pockets to put stuff in, and I can now hang my body cam on the upper part of my chest rather than at my waist. All right, we've seen an awful lot tonight. Anybody have any questions? Anybody, hey, by the way, anybody have any questions about Scientology and what I do here in Chicago to try to help prevent Scientology? Do you have suggestions, right? Are there things that you can help me with? Do you think that there are things that I can do better? I do have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I can use them in that in that same ratio. The propaganda does look to have a lot of Nation of Islam people on it, and my expectation is that the Nation of Islam will be in attendance there. Right? It still boggles my mind how Nation of Islam and Scientology are bedfellows in any way, shape, or form. Right? The idea that the racism that's there is just outstanding. That a Nation of Islam person would stand for anything that's going on there. Thank you, Lavender. I'm a big fan of the vest too. Now, I will say this: it's going to be easier for the body router to keep track of me. But I do like that. I've got branding on it, but also the idea of if there's a stranger in the neighborhood, maybe they will ask you about the cult. No, this is a great question. I do try to, and I think it's important that I do it because, again, I think the highlights is something that somebody will come back and visit. It's very hard for somebody to say, oh, look, a 4-hour live. Let me go watch that in 6 months. But this might be something that's a little bit more reasonable for people to look at. Now, I haven't been overly consistent. I really haven't gone a week without doing it. So usually it's every week. There have been times in the past where I would do maybe a day later. I would just do the 2 days before that. But I do try to do this fairly frequently. And I'm going to say that one of my favorite channels, Declare Dave Loves Suppressive Sherry. He typically does a Monday, Wednesday, Friday show. He had the fun with some bugs lately. Has been under the weather. I think that he'll be coming back to full strength fairly quickly, and we'll be able to. He's somebody that I'll share with. I did it. Now I know Nance was live tonight, but I did also invite Korn and Nance to come on to share some of their videos as well in this space. I think I might try and do the Chicago version of Natalie fairly soon. By the way, the reason I mentioned Dave is sometimes when we do our let's share or let's do the speed runs, we'll show both channels stuff in there. Have I seen Chadwick? No. And by the way, there are 2 Chadwicks. There's Chadwick Olsen, the larger guy with the red T-shirt, but I'm pretty sure you're talking about Chadwick Burke. Chadwick Burke is the person who alleged that Nancy made contact with him out in front of the org April 25th, something of that nature. So we have not seen him since either a week or 10 days before that first trial date, which was May 5th, maybe May 20th. May 20th was that first court date. At the first court date, it was dismissed because Chadwick didn't show up. Earlier in the show, we saw that Joe Sakala is somebody who's a bigwig at the org. His son is the executive director. He runs a financial organization that allows them to staff or to employ a lot of the people who are staff members. So we haven't seen Chadwick. Tomorrow morning, Nancy will have to be back in court. There's something goofy going on about the way that happens. My hope is that that her lawyer tries to get it dismissed because they did not follow the protocol to get there. So that's our information on him. Yeah, I 100% think this is a true statement that there is nothing about Scientology that in any way has any care or concern for Juneteenth. Thank you, Fuzzy. And by the way, I just want to say thanks to all the mods, Fuzzy's both on Dave's channel and on my channel. I've got a great team of mods, and I know that there's been all kinds of talk about it. I think that my channel is as successful as it is. And again, I am not a multi-billionaire on this. I don't have 10,000 subscribers. But I will say that I think that it's a safe space for the people that are in here. And I trust my mods when I'm out on the street They have my back. They know how to get a hold of my emergency contact people. They know how to, if there have been times where the org has been putting pressure on some of the women that are protesting out in front. I have been called back to the scene to see if I could help dismantle or disarm anything that was going on there. I really rely upon the mods to be able to help in that regard. This one I need more info on. So, by the way, Paul Norton, that seems like a new name to me. So thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. Auto off. Thank you for audio functions. Unfortunately, Canada. So welcome from Canada. Let's see here. Yep, we've got Dave on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You know, I'm going to say in general, I'm really bad about this. I am a very rushed speaker, and I need to slow that down. It's really strange because there's this element that says I need to hook the engagement of the person fairly quickly, and that sometimes I need to go a little bit quicker. But you're absolutely correct. I do need to then kind of back off in that space, and especially if they're not a native English speaker. Dave's given us a bit of a preview on what we're going to see tomorrow. Fuzzy agrees with you, Twyla. And again, that's great criticism. I love it. And this is another one that I really like to use. So in this video, you would have seen the best way to control people is to lie to them. Let's see what else. I don't think that we used any others, but in the past week, right, the idea that we've talked about, David Miscavige has been squirreling the tech because there should be no fundraisers. That L. Ron Hubbard said the churches should be on their own. So, howdy, Renoir. Great seeing you here. Let's see here. That I do like that one, and I know that. So Aaron's played that before. I think that they tried to copyright strike him on it as well. But yeah, that's that one is a great one. There used to be a statement that you would always hear that L. Ron Hubbard believed that people of color were degraded beings, and I can never find that quote. So I don't know if it's something that he just would say or if it was the sentiment that he would evoke, but. Yeah, that I think would be an interesting one. There is, and it's on the Rinder blog. You'll see it where it goes down through. Here's what he said about the Asians. Here's what he said about the Indian subcontinent. Here's what he said about the people of Africa. So I think that those are very powerful elements to talk about. Thank you very much. Fuzzy, I see that you sent me an email, and I'll definitely look at that. Do I need to look at it before we close? Let's see. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And again, the support means a lot to me, and it tells me that I'm doing something it's either effective or entertaining, and my hope is that it's effective, right? I agree with this. My mom always says. So there's a couple of times where I've heard a Scientologist say something, and I'm not from the South, but the "oh bless his heart," and I just love what that statement actually means in that process. Let's see what else we've got here. Hey, what you people do on your own time. All right, folks. We've been in here for almost 2 hours. I really appreciate everybody being here. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Fuzzy, is there anybody that's still live? I know Poe was going live before I started, but I don't know if he's still there. I feel like Lisa did a 24-hour, Lisa's Day Off did like a 24-hour stream today in this space. Nance was live before I came on. I don't know if she's still out there. But if we can find somebody to go raid, that would be great. And so let me pull that up. If there's anything that you think you can help me with, I would love for you to email me. Right now, some things I think are better handled with Declared Dave. He just has a better education on some of the history of. We're both never ends, but he has a much longer term history and understanding of this, and he's somebody who I rely upon greatly. You know, Michael Andreas is another one. Patrick Skinner, no one. There's a lot of people out there that really help me out a lot. So if you ever want to get something to me, I'm pretty responsive to this email address. And then you've also got the websites. Both of these websites go to the same place. It's just two different domain names for the same website. Let's see what we got here. The degraded being, people of color being a degraded being. Okay. Thank you, Twyla, and I appreciate the military sounding. Well, thank you very much, Susan. Coming to you live like I do every night from the heart of your radio. And I could never sing. Yeah, that I think is amazing because they have rewritten a lot of the history books for all of the books that he would have said just incredibly offensive statements in there. Nance is still there. Is Nance still on the boat? Thank you. Very much appreciated, Lavender. All right. I think we've got everything out there. And Tina, I would love it if you could send it to me. That'd be great. Oh, no. I'll head over to there after this. Just I don't know if there's something else there, but let's see here. Also, I want to turn that banner off. Okay. Let's head over to Nance. Give her a lot of support. Remember, she's in court tomorrow morning. And again, if there's finances available that you think can help her with, please do. Really love having everybody in here tonight. I hope you have a great week. I will be out there protesting again tomorrow.